welcome to another episode of The Platform. It is awesome to have Sebastian Terry on the show, and I have to thank Nikki from Facebook for suggesting it to me. What an incredible story, and it's probably unusual to start an episode with such a long intro clip, but this is just incredible, and it sets it all up. Sebastian Terry on The Platform.
People always ask me why I do the ridiculous things I do.
We all have two choices in life. To walk the path of comfort or strive for the things that make us feel alive. You!
I just never liked the term bucket list.
Yeah, I don't think death should be the ultimate motivator. I think living should be the motivator. My name's Sebastian Terry, and I have a list of 100 things that I'm trying to do to be happier in life.
I grew up in Sydney, Australia, where as a kid I hung out on the northern beaches with Chris. We played on the same rugby teams and rode surf boats together. He was one of my closest mates. At 24, I was struggling to find purpose in life and what would make me happy. One night, I got a phone call telling me Chris had passed away, tragically. I was in shock. I felt empty. Losing a close friend so early in life completely crushed me and led me to question everything. If Chris could relive his life again,
If he knew somehow that he had only 24 years on Earth, if he just knew that in hindsight, would he live the same life or would he have changed everything? I don't think he would actually change a thing about his life if given a chance. I then turned that question on myself at 24, and after about 2 minutes of consideration, I just realised that I would change everything. My reaction was to grab a piece of paper and a pen, because as I saw it, I just wasn't happy. And I decided to write down a list of things that I hoped would bring a smile to my face if I was to try them. So one thing turned into 10, into 20, into 50, and I was just full of emotion. I suddenly had this bit of paper in front of me, which I saw as my opportunity to change my life. So I decided essentially to drop everything in my life to pursue this strange list of 100 things.
one of the harder items on the list is to kiss a celebrity, whether you consider it...
3, 2, 1, go! There it is! Woo! That's pretty crazy!
Number 89, visit the Playboy Mansion. That's a tick.
I felt really empowered. I knew I needed to be happy. I prioritised that in my life and I changed everything so that I could pursue my list. I was just excited. I knew this was important to me and I just threw myself at it 100%.
It was a crazy idea. It was out of the box and it wasn't something that I'd heard of before, so I had a few reservations. I can definitely tell you 2 that really worried me. The first one was hitchhiking across America, because I have seen so many horror movies about people getting kidnapped and killed. And so that one worried me.
I'm not lying, I made it. I've just hitchhiked from the east coast of America. Good for you.
The other one that worried me was him going to Colombia to get shot by a gun. I really didn't want him to do that one, and I didn't sleep for weeks leading up to it.
What? Is that it? I'm alive.
As I continued to tick items from my list, people began to take interest in following my journey.
We're with 100 Things adventurer Seb Terry. Now, Seb, what else have you got on the list that you need to tick off?
There is one thing, number 26, is to help a stranger. And I think that's a fairly easy one. So I guess, I don't know if there's anyone in the audience or anyone listening on TV, but I just want to help a stranger.
I was contacted by a man named Mark. When I met Mark, I immediately felt for him and saw a man in need. Mark suffers from Lyme's disease, combined with additional immune and genetic factors which damaged his nervous system. His body and speech are practically paralysed, but his mind remains really sharp.
I asked him what I could help him with. He said that he'd always wanted to complete a half marathon, and he just said, push me.
Once we actually finished, we crossed the line and we congratulated each other and gave Mark a hug. Complete strangers just walked over to us, kind of sensing what had happened, and they just started giving Mark hugs too.
It was the best thing that I've ever done in my life, and it was as simple as helping someone.
At the end, I felt alive. It was magical. It's about love, connecting, and being human.
I'd helped myself enough, and the first person I helped was Mark. And from that moment on, I haven't stopped helping other people.
When this journey first started, it was all about Seb. And now it's evolved into something so much bigger. It's now about people helping people.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Nervous.
Nervous?
Yes.
Why would you be nervous? You're jumping out of a plane.
I was contacted by a woman named Shoni who suffers from multiple brain tumours. She wanted more than anything to skydive.
When you get into a plane and they tell you that an oxygen mask will fall down from the ceiling in case of an emergency, and they tell you specifically to put yours on first before helping any others. I think in life you have to look after yourself first. You have to be in pursuit of the person you truly are. And when you get there, you're able to then help others. You're better equipped to do so.
I'll always be able to look at this moment and think, this guy, who I don't even know, has made such an impact on my life, and he's doing that not just for me but for other people. He's changing lives just by doing what he loves. And today, help a stranger, that was me.
I thought it would take 100 things to find happiness. But strangely, it was number 26, help a stranger, that gave me a true sense of purpose.
I gave myself permission to ask a question to myself, and the answer for me has changed my life. And it's a question that anyone can ask themselves. What's on your list?
So there you go, unbelievable, right? What an incredible adventure so far. And it was great to catch up with him on Skype in Sydney. He put his iPhone down on the desk and we recorded this. Mate, welcome to the show. It's great to meet you. What an incredible journey.
Well, thanks, mate. Well, thanks for wanting to chat. I appreciate it. It's been great. It's been completely unplanned, and here I am some years down the track, and it's great. I'm stoked.
We've just seen the video that kind of sets up the backstory and some of your challenges that someone put together. It's incredible footage. If I could take you back a little bit, though, to when you got the news about your friend passing and you actually made that list. Yeah, where were you and what was going on at the time?
Well, it was about 12 years ago. I had, at that point, finished high school and didn't know what to do, and I ended up backpacking. Well, no, I actually got a degree first. Went to university, got a degree. Felt very underwhelmed at the end of that, and then I went backpacking around the world, just drifting. And then I happened to be in Canada, and I got a phone call in the middle of the night from a mate back here in Sydney, telling me the news that a friend had passed, that Chris, the guy I'd grown up with and all that sort of stuff that you probably saw in the video.
Yeah.
He passed, and it stopped me in my tracks, stopped the whole community. Chris, everyone knew Chris, everyone loved Chris. And yeah, it just kind of made me think about his life and how he lived, and then it made me think about my life and how I lived, and I just realised I was very unhappy. So yeah, that was kind of the beginning, the catalyst for this list, which has gone on to become something a lot bigger, obviously. But in that moment, it was all about me realising I was unhappy and creating a list of things that I thought might make me smile more. Simple as that. I just wanted to be happy, and I still do. But how we get happy changes over time, obviously.
Yeah. So what was the first thing that you did off the list?
I flew to Las Vegas and I married a stranger in Las Vegas. Because everyone's list is different, right? So, some people can do that, some people can do other things. At that point in my life, it was all about... Because I think your list stems from values, and my values then were all about, liberation, freedom, excitement, breaking the shackles. So there were things like that. And then now it's much more about helping people and connection and, empathetic type of things, compassion. But no, I married a stranger, and it was fun.
Awesome, man. Well, out of the 100 things, how many have you done so far?
I've done 72 to date.
Wow.
And, it's been this wild adventure. And I've sort of, I guess in a way, number 26, I don't do it in any order. So I do number 3, number 19, 28, whatever. Number 26 happened to be help a stranger. And then when I did that, that was a catalyst for me thinking, wow, I just want to help people. So I've put my own list on the back burner, and I just travel around, as you might know, just helping people now.
Can you hear a whippersnipper like really clearly through
the
audio? Okay, great. I'm hoping that you can't hear that.
Oh, I can hear that now. Yeah.
So, one of the things that I saw in the video, which was absolutely awesome, was Mark and the one about helping a stranger. So I'd love to ask a bit more about that one.
Yeah, well, Mark's now a good friend. At the time, he was a stranger. I put a call out on TV. I got interviewed on a show at some point, and I said, look, number 26 on my list is to help a stranger. Let me know how, if anyone needs help, hit me up. And I got quite a few people reaching out to me. And Mark's email, for some reason, really hit a nerve. Basically, he told me his backstory, which was he was completely able-bodied, like you and I.
Yeah.
And then he ended up backpacking to Greece and got bitten by a tick. And he contracted Lyme's disease. And at the age of 30, I think it was, in a very quick amount of time, he went from being able-bodied to becoming a quadriplegic. Can't move muscle in his body, can't breathe at night, he needs a ventilator to breathe at night, 24-hour care team, he can't speak. It's terrible, it's horrible. And he said, would you come and shave my head? It's on his list. And I thought, well, that's weird, but yeah. So I actually, no, I didn't fly to Melbourne. I was on a scooter. I was riding a 100cc scooter across Australia from Perth to Melbourne, coincidentally. And I ended up in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, let's do this. So I met Mark, shaved his head, which was incredible. And I got to meet him and learn about him and stuff. And he has this incredible list himself. But the odd thing was, because you sort of think, oh, you feel sorry for someone in that position. But I just saw that he was stoked. He was so happy. He had his head shaved suddenly. And I remember feeling as stoked as that when I ticked off my first thing from my list. But I thought I could do more. So I said, mate, what else can I do? I can do more than shaving your head. And he tried to say something, and I couldn't understand. And his caregiver said, Mark's always wanted to do a half marathon. There you go. And I was like, okay, but how can I help? And I looked at Mark and I said, how can I help you? And he just said, push me. Wow. And those two words changed my life. 100%. I make a joke of it a lot of the time, but I don't like running. But I instantly knew I wanted to push him. I was obsessed with the idea instantly. So I signed us up for the Melbourne Half Marathon, flew home to Sydney. I was living in Manly at the time before I moved to LA now, but I was living in Manly then, got a shopping cart from Coles and just ran up and down the beach with this shopping cart in training for a couple of months, and then I flew back down to Melbourne and I helped push Mark around a half marathon. And it was the best thing I've ever done in my life. Purely helping somebody. Which is interesting, and you tell me where to stop, because I talk about it all the time.
No, I love it, man. What an awesome story.
Yeah, it was great, and it was the only reason I was able to do it is that I put my oxygen mask on first. I talk about this a lot, putting your mask on first before helping others. I think it's really important that you're sort of centered, or at least on track to becoming who you might be.
Yeah.
And I'd done that with my list, and that was the first time that I'd ever reached out and help somebody else out, and I just found it was a feeling I've never had before, and it's something that I now, focus my life on.
With you doing the 100 Things list, what are some of the things that you've learnt about yourself and about others in the journey of doing it?
Well, I think something that I see every single day is that people are good. I just see it every single day. I mean, there's so many different things here. Like, my journey's happened because of the goodness of others. I'm certainly the spark for my own journey, and we all are. And I found out that I'm incredibly capable. I think generally I underestimate myself, and I think a lot of people do that. But I'm completely capable, and I've only found that out because I've got out of my comfort zone. I think life's about choice. I think you choose to be happy. I think you choose to be sad. You choose to create a list. You choose not to. I think we're entirely accountable for ourselves. And I think the moment that I realised that and gave myself permission, which is another really important thing, I think if you give yourself permission to consider who you are and then follow through with that, your life changes. But moving past just the story of myself, I think as people, we're internally wired to help one another out. We all want to. We all have the ambition and the capability to make a significant difference to other people in the world, but we don't know how to find them. So that's kind of what I not dwell on. I think about a lot, and it's actioned this new helping platform that I've launched, which I hope scales kindness.
Which I'm sure is your T-shirt, which is kind some, and the power of giving, right? Like because the person that gives is the one that gets the gift.
Yeah, well, and it's perfectly secular like that, right? I need help, you help me, I feel good because I've done the thing that I wanted to do, and you feel incredible. And it's interesting. I mean, as I said, we all have the ability to help other people. We just don't know how to find them. That's what Kindsome is. Kindsome is a peer-to-peer connection platform. Kind of like it works it is not online dating, but it works in a similar way. You go on there and you just look for people in your local area who need help, and you just reach out and you help them, from pushing someone in a wheelchair to, looking after a dog. I mean, there are so many stories going on. We're trying to find a kidney for someone in LA at the moment. We helped build a treehouse for a guy recently who lost his son and wanted to build a treehouse to commemorate his life for his other kids. So 20 people from around America flew to Bend, Oregon, and built this treehouse. So it's very clear that we're all ready and waiting. We just don't know how to find these people, and that's what Kindsome's about. Because I just think it's all. We just have to activate that switch.
Awesome, man.
And when you help, you feel incredible. The science around it is remarkable. It's factual. You get such a lot of benefit on a physiological level, not just psychological, from helping someone. So the more we help people, the better you feel, the better the world is.
Is there anyone out there?
Hey, we need your help.
I'm going to tell you my story.
I can't do it alone.
I'm nominating someone in need.
The greatest thing I ever did was help someone, and I've been able to, through having no resource myself other than time and care and energy, been able to make a difference. That was turned into a show. It all sounds so glorious, but it's not, because for every one person I helped, there were plenty more who weren't being helped. That's an issue. And I didn't know how to solve that, but what happened very naturally and organically is that people on the other side of the equation started following me going, hey, do you know anyone we can help? And I thought, well, why don't I just connect all these people on one side who need help with all these people on the other side who can help? Because by that, you're sort of scaling altruism. I really have a belief that we can change the lives of complete strangers through the smallest acts of kindness. We just didn't know how to find them until now.
Oh my God! I love it.
This is something else.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
People are good. I'm good, you're good, we're all good.
I know someone who can help.
I'm here for you.
I can help.
We can help. Let's do this.
Welcome to Kindsome, a meeting place for kindness. If you know someone who deserves an act of kindness, share their story. If you'd like to help someone, search for someone near you right now.
So I was going to ask you, I've seen links on your website for talking about the TV show, and it frustrates me that, networks really put on these days shows that are the worst facets of humanity, these reality shows. I'm wondering why your journey and what you do right now isn't a major TV show in Australia. Why is that?
Right. I don't know. I don't really think about it. My ambition isn't to be on TV, but I do see the power and the strength of having a show based on this. And, I think it really could catalyse a lot of really positive stuff in the world.
Yeah, amazing.
Certainly Australia. I mean, interestingly, I've just got approached, and I live in LA now, so this is where I built Kindsome. And I've got approached by a big, I can't say who they are, big group to do a show, essentially. They're a production company, so we're about to have a few meetings.
Oh, good. Well, I hope so.
So I think whether that happens or not, I'm not, tied to. If it works, it's great. If not, I don't know. But no, I agree with you. I think this, you're right, the stuff that goes on TV, unfortunately, is just horrible. No offense to anyone who is on TV.
No, it is.
But I think there's definitely opportunity. The issue that kindness has is that it's not cool. I think a lot of charities, a lot of charity endeavours, non-for-profits, that they struggle with that. It's image.
Right.
Who wants to donate money to someone else who's doing another run of some insignificant? The run's great, the ambition's fantastic, but the charity's boring. So I think there's a big opportunity there to make kindness cool, and I feel like that's kind of what I'm doing. I get to speak around the world. I had a reality show in the US. I'm writing books. There were a lot of people attracted to this idea, this concept for some reason. People seem to like me in the role. I don't know. So I think it's all there. It just hasn't happened just yet.
Okay, well, I certainly hope it does. And when you look back at the 72 things you've done so far, what's the top couple that you think of? Has there been one in particular that blows your mind? I know we spoke about Mark, but is there other ones that make you laugh? Or
yeah, oh, there's heaps. I mean, they're all so different. It's like trying to pick a favourite child. I don't have children, but I imagine that's a hard choice. But I mean, what's popping in my head now? Okay, so I lived on a deserted island for a week by myself in the middle of the Coral Sea. Phenomenal experience. I mean, it was mind-blowing. Every night, shark fins literally circling the island. It was nuts.
Wow.
That was a good one. I delivered a stranger's baby. That was very interesting. Complete stranger in a place in Canada called Regina, which just makes it even better.
Wow.
What else did I do? I did Iron Man, did stand-up comedy. That was fantastic. I was silent for a week in New York, which was really interesting. Posed-nude in an art class. Terrifying.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah, no, so there's lots to make you laugh and think and whatever. I ask people all the time, what's on your list? I had a driver pick me up yesterday to take me to a talk in Melbourne, and I asked him, what's on your list? And I film everyone, put it on my Instagram, right? And he said, without even missing a beat, I really want to say sorry to my dad for being such a little shit when I was younger. But his dad had passed away, so he went to a graveyard and said sorry to the tombstone type thing. So lists don't have to be jumping out of a plane. It can be saying sorry. It could be saying I love you. It could be going back to school. It could be starting a business. It could be yodeling. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that people, listening now, I guess, just realise that life is there for the taking, and you don't need to wait for anyone else's permission. You give it to yourself, and when you do that, you're entirely empowered, and that's how I feel.
Awesome, man. Well, I was just about to ask you, actually, if you could live the ultimate dream, what would it be? But I'm assuming that you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
I wouldn't change just for $1 billion. I live on purpose. I think that's what, I think that's what we all try and do. I feel every single, like this, I was excited to talk to you.
Yeah.
I love the reason I'm excited to talk to you about it is because I feel that there's an opportunity to spread a good message. I don't care about anything else, and I find it great. I feel fantastic about life. I sleep well, and I think everyone does when they give themselves when they give themselves permission to do so.
All right, Seb.
Also,
How do we find you online, man? I mean, I've just recently found all your stuff, and like I said to you when we were talking about doing the interview, I was watching all your YouTube stuff, and I was literally blown away about this journey. What an awesome story. I hope it's a TV show in Australia and around the world, but how do we connect with you online?
I've got these two things. The kindsim.com is the kindness platform. For anyone watching who needs help in some non-financial way, go there, share your project. There's a big community of people who want to help. And if you want to help somebody, go there and have a look. 100things.com.au is my original website. You can go there, set up your list, etc. On Instagram, I'm Seb100things or @kindsim. I mean, look, I'm Sebastian Terry. Google. Don't say Google me. I can't believe it was a Google me. I didn't mean like that, but it's very easy to find me. So yeah, get involved. If anyone needs help, let me know.
Awesome, man. Well, great to speak to you. It's really cool to have you on the platform. I think what you're doing is incredible, and I can't wait to see where it all unfolds.
Thanks, brother. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. So there he is. Great to have him on the show. We had a whippersnipper go off during the interview, and now I've got a lawnmower going off outside. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on the platform.